Dance is a far more enjoyable place to work in as a musician. I wish I'd discovered it earlier.
I think it's a real treat and a real pleasure to have live musicians because so often we don't.
Singing is the personal instrument. Singing's the instrument. Voice is the instrument you can't put down and walk away from.
With the music, I'm not a musician, but I have extremely strong ideas on what sort of music I like. But to me, lyricism was extremely important and beauty in the music. You know, I didn't want something that was crazy and discordant because for this sort of poetic work and that's why I chose him, because I know he can create work like that.
I could know from Natalie's descriptions what sort of, I guess, emotional effect or it seemed she was after.
I like to collaborate. I have ideas, but I'm happy to be moved around if necessary.
The incredible experience of singing two dancers dancing is I knew I was going to really like working on this project, and I knew it was going to be really interesting, but I didn't know that's what I was going to like the most. I couldn't have imagined how great that is. And then in the rehearsal studio, it was fantastic. I could see every move they were making, and it shapes how I sing differently. So I'm sort of singing to, you know, either sinuous moves or nice clean stops or whatever it is. I don't know, it just shapes it differently. But that's unmitigated pleasure. That's just fantastic. I love it. Just draws a whole other story of singing out of me.
I think she's just a wonderful singer. Any opportunity to play any part in putting her in a position where people are blessed by her singing. Yeah, like I like showing her off if I get a chance. You know.
I don't feel like my role is the storyteller, I've got to say. I feel like it's a bit of augmentation for the story. The story is entirely in the hands of the dancers and the work, and I feel like the song material just helps that along.
It really is a collaboration working with the dancers. So if they need a certain bit to go for longer or go for shorter or whatever, you know, that's sort of the main thing that we had to work on with the music to get certain things to line up timing wise. I mean, it's a different experience for me being the pianist, because I actually really don't get to see the show. Like, I don't really know what it looks like. I have my back to it most of the time. But in the rehearsal, you know, most of the time we're just making slight changes in the music to, you know, according to what the dancers feel like they would need.
You know, your function as a musician is very well defined in this project, whereas sometimes if you're just playing music on stage by yourself, you start to wonder, you know, why are you doing it? Are you actually communicating anything? Or, you know, adding to the world in any way? So that's kind of, you know, here there's no problem about that. It's very obvious why you're there.
I find musicians very fascinating because I personally can't read a note. So I find it's very engaging as well. I think when you're in a rehearsal period and you can actually see what happens and what they actually do to achieve where they're at. It's a treat to have live musicians, and the fact that they're on stage in a collaborative place with us and they're, you know, involved within the work. I think that it would make for a lovely, beautiful piece of theatre. Absolutely.
To be involved in something that hits all the marks. They've gone on a really intelligent, elegantly nuanced, really human journey that's been very immediate and palpable for them. That's really satisfying.